Joining us live now is a few matters to talk about. The senior analyst at the Australian Strategic Policy Institute, Malcolm Davis. Malcolm, good to see you. Thanks for your time this morning. So you've got, the north and south of Korea trading volleys of missiles. That's over those military exercises, as we just explained. Where does this lead?
Look, I think what it is the North Koreans acting provocatively to try and disrupt and interfere with South Korea and US exercises. All this is leading up to the potential for the North Koreans to do a nuclear weapons test underground. It'll be their 7th nuclear weapons test, and the first since 2017. And I think that's what everyone is watching. But certainly these missile launchings by North Korea do generate a lot of concern. And quite understandably, the South Koreans are responding by essentially launching a few missiles just as a warning not to continue. So
by North Korea seemingly threatening a nuclear response then, as we just outlined, that's not just talk.
Well, it's a nuclear weapons test. It's not a nuclear attack on South Korea. So they are moving down the path of developing tactical nuclear weapons, and the North wants to test a nuclear warhead to make sure that their tactical nuclear weapons are working. So, this is a real concern because it would be a step forward in proliferation.
Right, so what would that test look like?
It would be an underground nuclear test, just like they've done in the past. So it would be done inside a mountain. They would detonate a nuclear weapon to make sure that it worked. And that would then generate huge international condemnation, because everyone is trying to avoid doing nuclear weapons tests.
Not going to stop them, though.
It's not going to stop them, no.
No. Still on North Korea, White House has confirmed this morning that North Korea has been sending significant artillery ammunition to Russia under the guise of shipments to the Middle East or Africa. Does that surprise you?
No, it doesn't. I mean, North Korea is joining a rogues gallery along with Iran in supporting Russia in its war against Ukraine. Iran has been sending large numbers of missiles. That's going to increase in the next few weeks. The North Koreans have been sending artillery shells on a large scale. So North Korea and Iran are both supporting Russia in their war against Ukraine.
Where would North Korea lie if there was going to be some kind of invasion or China reunifying, as they like to say, with Taiwan? Where would North Korea sit on that one? If the Americans came in and Australia came in, to defend Taiwan, where would North Korea sit on that one?
Look, I think what you could see is North Korea trying to exploit the situation by launching some sort of attack on South Korea. Right. And what the North Koreans are trying to do is deploy these tactical nuclear weapons to offset South Korea's conventional superiority. So the real concern is that North Koreans could move very quickly to use those in any conflict between China and Taiwan.
Right. Speaking of trading weaponry, Australia has given Solomon Islands 60 new semi-automatic rifles. There's 13 new vehicles as well. Some have argued that this could well be used against Sogovare's own people in the face of some kind of uprising. Is there a point there?
Yes, I think there is. I think it's a rather stupid move to basically provide weapons to Sogovare. We're meant to be providing security assistance. That doesn't necessarily include weapons. What we should be doing is providing advice and personnel to make sure that the Solomon Islands remains a free and democratic and stable country, rather than giving the government the means potentially to intimidate or oppress the people. And the Chinese can essentially provide more than us anyhow in terms of weapons.
Yeah. So what was it all about then?
Well, that's a good question. It's a mystery to me why the Australian government would do this rather than sending actually more useful support in the form of advisors and maybe additional police officers on the ground.
Well, I mean, that's what we did last time, and there was an uprising not so long ago, and we sent dozens of AFP officers. Wouldn't that just be the done thing?
It should be. That would be the sensible move, but for some reason the government has decided to provide weapons.
Yeah, and do you feel like it's just a matter of time eventually before there is an uprising again against Sogovare?
Look, I think it's possible. It will depend on how Sogovare responds in terms of delaying elections, in terms of bringing additional Chinese presence in, including potentially Chinese security presence. there's a lot of opposition to the Chinese government in Solomon Islands. If Sogavare tries to do that, then that could generate some pushback.
Yeah. Okay. Malcolm Davis, good to chat as always. We'll talk to you again soon.